Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Let's give our predictions. This is the first test now, and I'm adamant to annihilate you this year.
You're not going to.
I'm going to. I'm going to slap that ass.
Yeah, but what are you going to do about the predictions?
I'm going to slap that ass. Everyone I get right. Let's get it erotic in here. We don't have enough erotic stuff on this podcast.
Well, not since Scott Boldo's left. So.
All right then, Ash, you've got the list up. Let's run us through.
We'll do the Rumble matches last.
All right.
Because one of them would be the main event, I would have thought.
And is there any possibility at the moment that there might be more matches added? Do you think, from current WWE TV?
I don't know, because they've got 6 matches at the minute.
Okay. So that sounds about right then, with 6 right. And then 2. Yeah,
and
so
probably there'll be like a pre-show match, I reckon, but I don't know.
Unless any of these are going to be on it, but I suppose
I doubt it, because they've got... Well, we'll start in the Wikipedia reverse order, and...
Wikipedia! Big up Wiki!
Okay.
You love Wikipedia, don't
you? I do, actually. Because sometimes you just put random shit in that you remember, and you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, all that's just not right, but yeah. Well, what you got?
Well, Roman Reigns defends the Universal Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Not just Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Freaking Rollins. There is a bonus added from SmackDown last night, as recording, where the Usos are now banned from ringside.
Okay. Well, I like the... I mean, it's Rollins and Reigns.
Yeah.
It's always going to deliver, and again, with former Shield guys, there's always that long sort of history between the two. I think they've been cutting some interesting promos.
Yeah. On
each other, and obviously talked about one earlier on where obviously Rollins name drops Mox, but yeah, it's obviously again though now is a different dynamic. We've got Rollins, but kind of he's face now.
I'm not 100% because he's tagging with Kevin Owens, who's just turned heel.
Yeah,
and they're kind of setting that up as if like they're gonna they do with Kevin Owens and like Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho. That's how I'm seeing it personally, even though they did WrestleMania like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It depends potentially how they, But I suppose for all intents and purposes, Rollins is going to play more of a face role in this match, and Reigns being the heel. Well, I think my prediction for it, I already said last week that one of my predictions for the entire year is I don't think Reigns is going to drop the title. So I think Reigns walks out still champ.
I think that only because... Seth keeps saying about how I've always beaten you, Roman, which I think is true.
Yeah, maybe. But Roman's going to win this.
Yeah.
And I think one way or another, Roman and Brock is going to be the match at Mania. So whether or not Brock's still champ by then as well, I don't know. But
well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, we're both saying Roman on that one then.
Yeah. Then we got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice in a mixed tag.
I think Edge and Beth. I wouldn't be mad if Miz and Maurice win it, but I just think it's going to be Edge and Beth.
Yeah, what do you bring? Well, I don't know, because Edge just beat Miz at day one, but then again, they do like to have someone like the heel lose 2 in a row.
I think the match will end if it's a clean finish. Then I think Beth gets the win over Maurice. If I'm honest. I think it'll be Beth that picks up the win for the team, because it's her first match back in maybe a year or two, isn't it? Since the
Mania 35.
Yeah,
was the last match I can think Beth having.
That's the last one in mind. She might have had one since then. People correct us if we're wrong on that one, but yeah, that's the last one I remember. But I'm going to go for Edge and Beth on that one.
Yeah, I'd say the same because. But it's one of those ones where it could go either way, and I wouldn't be upset personally.
No, I wouldn't. No. Depending on the finish, but yeah.
We got Becky Lynch defending the Raw Women's title against Doudrop.
Yeah, Becky Lynch is going to take it, but it is nice to see Doudrop challenging. But I mean, realistically, at the moment, what have you got in the women's division that are going to be credible contenders
on Raw?
Well, in general, but I suppose on Raw. Doudrop is absolutely one, but it might just take a bit more time for her to. I think that's the thing. I could see her as the champion, but I just don't see her beating Becky at the Rumble. I just don't see it. That her time is now. if that makes sense. Like I'm still kind of in that, well, when's Bianca getting it back? Like I'm still waiting. Like I just feel like we kind of have to do Bianca and Becky at Mania.
That's not who I think is going to get them.
No, but I feel like that should be, because Bianca's not had her retribution.
No.
And if you wanted to, I know it's WWE we're talking about, but I mean, realistically, that I feel like that would have been the better route. But regardless, I think Becky retains.
I think Becky.
God, we haven't disagreed yet.
Well, I think it's the wrong matches that will really. Next match is Brock v Big Bob for the WWE title, and I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, this has been years in the making.
Literally, even like the MMA world and wrestling.
I know. This has been, and Bob touted it as a match that this is one of the things he wanted to come back to WWE for. He wanted that match against Lesnar, and realistically, I think if this match delivers, I know Bobby Lashley has already been WWE champion now, and actually it was a decent run.
I liked it.
But I think if he has a really good outing with Lesnar, that's going to solidify Bobby Lashley as a main event guy, and hopefully he just stays in the main event. But do I think Lashley's going to beat Lesnar? No.
It's the finish that's going to...
The finish is going to be an interesting one, but I don't think Lashley beats Lesnar.
No.
I think we're probably still going to... If we're going to do the unification match, I think we're going to have that Mania, and it's going to be Reigns and Lesnar.
But if that's so, what's the point of the Rumble?
Well, a good point.
They might do the unification at Saudi Arabia, but they are doing that Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that means. If that's like, it's going to be a SmackDown exclusive, if say like a Raw guy wins or whatever.
It just feels like we're not done with Lesnar and Reigns. So like, if we're not going to have a Lesnar Reigns blow off match at Mania, and don't get me wrong, I'm okay if we don't, because if Reigns and Lesnar have a match at Mania again this year, how many times is that they've wrestled each other at Mania?
That'd be the third.
Is this the third or the fourth?
Mania 31.
Right.
Mania 34, sorry. So it'll be the third time. But they've had like 5 or 6 pay-per-view. Or
that's going to be the big blow-off one, for like the reason you said for Roman and Seth. If they're going to say like Roman's never really beat Seth, but Roman's never beat Lesnar at Mania.
No.
So this is like kind of the Rock and Austin thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But just not as big for me. But I don't know. I still Lesnar anyway.
Yeah, Lesnar. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And funny enough, they're doing a. They're going to be doing a
Right.
Yeah, they're going to do a weigh-in on Raw.
Oh God.
And it's something I don't usually like, but this I do like, only because it's got you. Whenever they do a weigh-in in wrestling, it's always like one proper sportsman against a wrestler who's got no it's never been away from wrestling, like they did with Anthony Go and
Cody. Yeah.
They did a Big Show and Mayweather, but Big Show tried to be going boxing, but but because it's two MMA guys who have also been wrestlers for a long time, I actually like this.
I guess so. But you know what my stance is on trying to incorporate too much MMA into wrestling? You got to be careful with
Didn't they do this with Jericho and Moxley as well?
A weigh-in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They did something with Jericho as a champion.
I only remember the plant. What was it called?
Oh,
no, I can't remember.
I know what you're on about, but I can't remember the plant's name.
No. Terrible memory. But it will be interesting. I think that this really could be... this is a really important match for Bobby, I think. But, I don't think it'll hurt him if Lesnar beats him, but Bobby really... honestly, if Bobby wins and takes title off him here, I think that's a good outcome. You do
sometimes get a title change at Rumble, but it's never usually...
one of the big...
Yeah, you do get, I think, like Cena against Edge in 2006.
Yeah, which was questionable.
Yeah. You had The Rock beating Mankind at 1999, sorry.
I think the last one was probably just Triple H winning the Rumble and winning the title.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cena against AJ at 17.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, you don't get that often. You might get, like, the IC title or like a women's title, but
nah. Well, I'll stick with Lesnar.
Yeah. Right, we'll do the men's rumble, I guess. At the minute, 15 names have been confirmed, including Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville's there. Anyone that surprised him?
Not really. You get obviously you got the big names like a Biggie, AJ Styles, Kofi, Kevin Owens.
Have you got anyone in there that you predict that's going to show up at the Rumble? So we both said Veer. Well, you said Veer, but I am also saying I think Veer's a good opportunity for them to bring him out. I don't think he'll be 30, but I think if they're going to bloody finally debut him, then just do it in the Rumble.
You know how we said Moose could appear?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
No, I don't.
Do you think that'll depend on if they are the second match?
I think if we're going to see a crossover outside of Mickie James, I think it's going to be former WWE guys. Oh, yeah. So I think maybe Kurt Hawkins, maybe Matt Cardona.
Well, Matt Cardona has said he would come back to WWE, but he had
on one condition.
I don't know what it was because I never read the headline.
You just read the headline.
That's the thing. I read the headline and go, well, it doesn't bother me. I won't look at it.
I think both of them have got a good chance if you're going to have anybody going to the men's. But to be honest, I don't know. I think if you're going to talk about AEW, Jericho, we said last week, and Bryan Danielson. But Cody, out of everybody, I think Cody would be the one that would be the most interesting, because not only is that going to make that Rumble interesting, but I do think that does something for Cody, and then AEW can get something out of that. It's the same as, for this Impact WWE working relationship. What's it going to do for Impact? Well, again, we need to see how it plays out, don't we? But there has to be something on both sides. It can't just be that Impact loan basically some guys out for WWE, because that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But it has to be someone who worked in WWE. It can't be just some random.
No, it can't, because they're not. When it's a company that doesn't typically acknowledge anyone else outside of the company, and realistically, a lot of people that watch WWE won't watch other programs. They won't watch other wrestling shows, no. Especially the younger audience. You would think. So, seeing someone like Moose come out is not going to have that same. Do you know what I mean? Like but the thing is, what's a shame about it is that it worked with AJ.
Yeah, because everyone knew who he was, really.
Yeah, the kids again probably not so much, but the adults did. But the thing is, though, AJ then became like he was entering the company. He was debuting the company.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the case here, is it? So if Moose comes out, he's not going to probably not going to have a chance to really showcase what he's going to do, obviously, in WWE.
Although there is the possibility he might interfere or do something with Roman or a Brock.
I think that's like, it's a nice armchair booking stance, isn't it? But it's one of those, like, it's fantasy booking, but I don't think we're gonna. I just don't think it's going to be as big as we think it's going to be. At least at this point, there might be something to come out of it down the road. But the two reasons to say it is, one, I got quite excited with it with the AEW when they was first doing it, and it never really quite lived up to the expectation for me. No. In terms of it being like a broad thing, like it was just, it fell it just fell a tiny bit flat, and then this is WWE, so I don't know, man. I don't know. But in terms of anybody else, is there anybody due to come back from injury?
Well, Shinsuke probably, but he's been on TV a lot.
Mm. Are we going to see NXT 2.0 guys?
Well, and apparently, Gunther, and Braun.
Yeah, I could 100% see Braun being in it.
Maybe Ciampa. Like I said, maybe Pete Dunne, but they've already been. Well, I don't think Ciampa's been in a Rumble yet, has he?
I think he might have been.
Pete Dunne has.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of someone who. There is a rumour we might be getting Bray back.
There's a rumour. We'll see, won't we?
I'm trying to think that someone's been cleared. Booker T also been If someone who's been cleared to wrestle again.
So Booker. Corey Graves?
Corey Graves could, but
yeah.
Like I say, it depends if... I say it depends if he's doing commentary or not, because we had Michael Cole do it when he was on commentary. But I'm sure I saw someone had been cleared to come back, but I can't remember who it is.
Who do you think is going to win?
Honestly, I've no clue, because I'm looking at the names now.
I think, do you reckon a good way for us to do it is we'll pick a winner, someone we think is going to win it, but we can do like a substitute one for someone who's not confirmed.
Right. Well,
because it's kind of like a little bonus,
Of the names that are on the list, of course, there's a Wikipedia, so they might be different. Maybe Big E?
Is The Miz confirmed?
No.
He's not.
But
for a name that's not confirmed, I would like my wild card pick is The Miz.
But I always say it depends on the placement on the card.
It does. But I just think as a wild card pick, I'd say The Miz. Big E's a good one. I just don't know if out of any of the other names that's confirmed at the moment, there's anyone really likely to win it, though. This is actually a really tough one to call, because you look at the winner of the Rumble and you look at, what are they going to do at Mania then? And that's already difficult for me, because I'm kind of like I said before, I feel like we're going to do Lesnar and Reigns. And if Lesnar's still champ or Reigns is still champ, I don't know. But I think I think I would say Big E, but my wild card pick's Miz. So I don't know if you've got a wild card pick. I think you probably should have one.
It's hard to tell, because obviously
there's someone that's not in it, or confirmed that's not confirmed to be in it.
Because obviously, with the limited amount of people on the shows, I can't give a name. Only that. Well, Big E's the face pick. We'll have a face win. I should have a face win and a heel winner, shouldn't I? Because I don't think
you could do. Or we could go really out of left field. Triple H returns, wins the Rumble, but instead of challenging for a title at Mania, he challenges for the company.
Yeah, probably.
Triple H versus Vince and Bruce. Handicap match.
The special guest referee Steve Blackman.
Yeah, Steve Blackman. Every year. It's a good thing you reminded me. Every year. For how many years, Ash?
That 10.
Literally, well, it's more than 10 now. It's going to be more. Every single year, I always hold out hope Steve Blackman will enter the Royal Rumble. And yours has been Funaki.
Yeah. Kung Funaki, I should say.
Kung Funaki. That specific gimmick.
And he still works with WWE, I'm sure, doesn't he? Funaki.
I didn't think he did, but I could be obviously very wrong. Yeah.
But a name...
I'm saying Steve Blackman wins the Royal Rumble.
A name was not announced.
Johnny Knoxville. Steve-O.
He's announced.
Steve-O.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do bring in a lot of Jackass.
Yeah, probably. Well, they'll be like ringside, won't they? Get Fred Durst in there, why not?
Why not? A name that's not... I don't know, because I don't know who... Fuck it, Veer.
You're going to say Veer?
Yeah, Veer.
Oh, that is out of left field. Imagine that. Your debut match, you've been coming for months and months and months, and your debut, you win the Rumble. That would go down in history.
Yeah. Because honestly, I've got no names in my head that are coming back from injury or like...
Yeah.
Or you could say... Well, because obviously if Jericho does turn up, they're not going to win.
Well, exactly, yeah. Which I suppose brings us to the women's one.
Yeah, 21 names announced.
Now, yeah. I mean, Mickey's not going to win it.
No. And Charlotte Flair, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion, is in it.
Is she going to win it?
Well, if she wins it, she says she will pick her opponent. And she's kind of got an rivalry with Lita. Yeah,
so that's kicked off a bit. But then does Lita win the Rumble?
Well, the plan is that they will face each other at Mania anyway.
So do they do it for the title?
Possibly.
Lita. What if Lita wins the Rumble, takes on Charlotte, and loses? Because obviously Lita's not going to take the title.
No, she'll do what they did with Trish and Charlotte a few years ago. But Lita, we don't either, because she hasn't had a proper match in so long. She did that comeback when there was the Evolution pay-per-view. And had a couple of matches, but she didn't... when she did the Rumble, the first Women's Rumble, It was different because she was on like a no bump list, I think, but she still did like a moonsault. No, she nearly fucking landed on her head.
It's weird. I just don't. Lita would be an interesting pick, but maybe she doesn't win it. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Bianca.
Okay, she is listed.
I'm going to say Bianca again. I feel like if we're going to do this, let's start again. I'm going for Bianca Belair, and my wild card pick is not going to be. It's not someone who's not announced, but my wild card pick is going to be Lita.
Okay. Well, my pick is Liv Morgan.
That's a good shout as well. I mean, she's been getting a hell of a push.
Yeah.
And we finally disagreed.
I got if it's a wild card that hasn't been announced, a part of me thinks it's going to be Sonya Deville.
That would be a bit of a swerve, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But she's kind of in a rivalry with Naomi, so I don't know if that'll work. But here's something that pissed people off on SmackDown this last episode. Summer Rae appeared because she's in a Rumble match.
Yeah.
And they named her as a legend.
I think that's just the name they give for alumni, isn't it? It probably just sounds better than alumni.
If there's because there's because we had Nikki Ash turn heel on Rhea Ripley, so they'll probably do something on the at the Rumble match. You have Dana Brooke, who's the 24/7 champion, and she's in a kind of feud with Tamina, so they'll probably do something with that.
They're probably going to do. Didn't they do this in the Rumble last year during the women's as well? There was like some hoo-ha with the 24/7 title.
It might have done.
I think it was that. I anticipate that'll happen again then.
The Bellas are back, so they might do something. Who knows?
But you're saying who are you saying to win?
I'm saying Liv.
So you're saying Liv, and who's your wild card?
Like a Sonya.
And Sonya.
Because I think they're going to bring her back permanently.
Well,
there's also with the women's rumble, they're saying like Donna Perazzo might appear because of the feud with Mickie James. You might get like a Mandy Rose appear or Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, but the name that might appear, but I don't know if they will because she's not that known, is Roxy.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think Ring of Honor. I don't think we're going to see Ring of Honor guys.
Well, because she's lost the Ring of Honor title.
Yeah, but
she's had a tryout with WWE and it's probably gone successfully.
Nah.
They might put it out because obviously people like her online. Bayley might be coming back. I like Bayley, but I don't think she's coming back. And I don't think she'll win the Rumble.
I think if she came back for the Rumble, she'd be good to win the Rumble, but I don't know.
But is it? It's ever since Triple H did it. No, Triple H and Stone Cold were the first people really that came back from injury to win it. Because it felt like everyone who came back from injury.
It's happened a few times though. Triple H,
Edge,
well, Austin, Edge, Cena.
Batista, really?
Yeah, Batista. Yeah. We will see what happens at the Rumble, and hopefully it will be good. Last year's instalment was by and large it was pretty decent, but there's no Bad Bunny this year.
No,
so.
But the problem we had last year was it was no crowd.
Yeah, no crowd, and it does.
And Michael Cole saying it's Christian, he's coming back.
I think having a crowd for the first time at a Rumble since 2020, 2020, is going to be a big deal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if there's a good chance that we're going to end up drawing predictions then.
Yeah, or not getting right at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we'll still draw at least. Yeah. But yeah, in closing for the show, of course we're making our move over into YouTube.
YouTube.
3 men. 1 ball. I did it.